Flamingo Books. Shining English Reader. Series 5. Chapter 14. The Merchant of Venice. Antonio and Bassanio lived in the city of Venice. Though Antonio was a rich merchant and Bassanio was an ordinary person, they were good friends. Antonio had many vessels. He was very generous. He used to help the poor and the needy. Bassanio wanted to marry Portia, who lived in Belmont, a town in Venice. He needed money to go to Belmont and to marry Portia. Unfortunately, he had no money. So he decided to go to his friend, Antonio, for help. Bassanio went to his friend and told him everything. Antonio wanted to help his friend, but his ships were away, and he had no ready money. "Don't worry, we shall go to Shylock, who is a moneylender. I am sure he will lend us as much money as we need," Antonio said to his friend. So both the friends went to Shylock, who was very greedy. He always charged a very high rate of interest on the money he lent. He did not like Antonio as he used to lend money without any interest. "I need 3,000 ducats for 3 months. I am ready to pay you as much interest as you want," said Antonio to Shylock. "Can you lend me this sum? Why do you need 3,000 ducats? You are a rich businessman. Don't you have a lot of money?" Shylock asked him smiling. "And why are you ready to pay high interest when you lend money to others without interest? Have you become poor? Has your business flopped?" he continued. Antonio was angry to hear the taunt. But he did not show his anger. "I don't want any money. It is my friend, Bassanio, who is in need of money." "But I shall pay you back the money," Antonio said. "Why don't you yourself give him the money he needs?" Shylock asked. "My ships are away now. They'll be back within 2 months. So I have no money now. As soon as my ships are back I will be in a position to return your money with interest," Antonio said. "Oh, I see," said Shylock. "You are helping your friend. All right, I will help you. I will lend you money and take no interest at all. But I won't take your money without interest," said Antonio. "All right," said Shylock. "I am ready to lend you 3,000 ducats for 3 months. If you or fail to return the money within the time, I'll take a pound of flesh from your body. You must sign a bond." Antonio took the money and signed the bond. Bassanio was sad as his friend had to sign a cruel bond. Antonio gave the money to his friend, Bassanio. He thanked him, went to Belmont, and married Portia. Luck did not favor Antonio that year as all his ships were lost on the way. No ship returned even after 3 months had come to an end. He could not pay back the 3,000 ducats in time to Shylock. Shylock was waiting for this opportunity. He went to the Duke of Venice. He showed him the bond signed by Antonio. The Duke summoned Antonio, and showed him the bond. "Did you borrow 3,000 ducats from Shylock 3 months ago?" asked the Duke. "Yes, my lord," replied Antonio. "Did you sign this bond, too?" the Duke asked. "Yes, sir. I did sign it," Antonio said. "Then why didn't you pay back his money?" the Duke asked. "My lord, unfortunately, all my ships are lost and so I am not in a position to pay back his money." "I felt sorry for that," Antonio said. The Duke was in a fix. He told Shylock that the judgment would be given after a few days. Antonio was put behind bars. When Bassanio and his wife heard the news, they felt very sorry for Antonio. Portia gave all her money to Bassanio and said, "Go to Venice at once. Pay back the money to Shylock and save your friend. Pay him as much money as he wants." Bassanio came to Shylock and requested him, "Take as much money as you want and let Antonio free." But cruel Shylock was not interested in getting his money back. He wanted to cut off a pound of flesh from Antonio's body. Bassanio went to the Duke, told him everything and said, "My lord, I am ready to go to jail to save my friend's life. I am ready to pay back 10 times as much money as Antonio had borrowed from Shylock." The Duke called Shylock and Antonio to the court. Just then there came an unknown lawyer named Bellario with his clerk. He had a letter for the Duke from an old friend of his. The unknown lawyer spoke to Shylock. "Take 10 times as much money as Antonio had borrowed from you and forgive him," the lawyer said to Shylock. But Shylock said, "As per the bond signed by Antonio, I will not take any money. I want a pound of flesh from his body and nothing else." "All right," said Bellario, "you may cut off a pound of flesh from Antonio's body." Shylock was very happy. He rushed towards Antonio with a sharp knife. As he was ready to act, Bellario shouted, "Shylock, remember, you can cut off just a pound of flesh, neither more nor less. And not even a single drop of blood should be shed in cutting off the flesh. If it happens, your entire property will be taken away from you." When Shylock heard this, he felt greatly disappointed and nervous. "My lord, I am ready to take the money," he said humbly. "No," said Bellario, "now you can't take the money. You wanted to kill Antonio. So you must die for it." Shylock was ready to take his 3,000 ducats, but the Duke, too, did not allow him to do so, and said, "The law of Venice says you must die for it. But we are very kind. We forgive you, but all your money and property will not be yours anymore. Half of it will belong to Venice and the other half will be given to Antonio." The unknown lawyer was thanked by Antonio, Bassanio and their friends. As he was about to leave the court, Bassanio said to him, "You have saved the life of my friend. What shall I give you for it?" "All right," said Bellario, "you can give me your wedding ring." The ring had been given to him by his wife, but Bassanio had to give it to the lawyer. Bassanio reached Belmont with his friend, Antonio. There he came to know that it was Portia, his wife, who had gone to the Duke's court in the disguise of Bellario. Portia showed her husband the ring that he had given to her at Venice at the Duke's court.